one of the first things that we're going to do is make sure that those dates change, those days change just the way they're supposed to. And in fact, they do, which is a really good indication that this watch has been well cared for and most likely won't need a complete factory service or overhaul, which again is a considerable cost if we have to do that, because this is a watch that if it needs to have a complete overhaul, we'll probably have to go back to IWC. Could cost anywhere between $500 and $1,200 for a complete factory overhaul. Moreover, that overhaul could take anywhere from 4 weeks to 12 weeks. So these are some of the considerations when you're purchasing a pre-owned and sort of almost a vintage watch, since this watch is almost 20 years old probably, or closer to 15 years old. Definitely some things that you want to consider when you're purchasing a pre-owned watch. Now, when we sell this watch, we're going to guarantee that this watch is in perfect mechanical condition, and we're going to stand by that with our Watch You Want guarantee. A couple things I can tell you about this watch and a couple things that I look for. We look for that original IWC winding crown, which in this case, because it's pre-2005, features that fish as opposed to the newer style Probus or football shaped or what's called an eye winding crown. This is the original fish winding crown. It is a screw down winding crown, and in fact screws down really nicely without much difficulty, which I really like. Let's also take a look and make sure that the chronograph is advancing. So we want to make sure that the seconds hand is moving so we know the watch has ample power, and we're just going to start, stop, and reset the chronograph a few times. That chronograph pusher is still really sharp and just really, really crisp. So I can start it, stop it, and reset it, and everything zeroes back. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll have this watch run with the chronograph for 10 to 15 minutes and just look to see what kind of time the watch is keeping while the chronograph is running. It's one thing to measure the accuracy of the watch when the chronograph is not running. It's another thing to measure the accuracy of the watch when the chronograph is running. And a lot of cases, the accuracy of the watch will differ greatly when the chronograph is running versus when the chronograph is not running, because the chronograph does draw the power away and can in some cases have the watch stop while the chronograph is running or have the watch start running slower or faster. So those are some of the things that we test for when we get a watch in that we're going to resell. And before we ship it, of course, we want to make sure that watch is in perfect mechanical condition. So there you have it. This is the sort of a vintage or circa 2000, early 2000s IWC GST chronograph, automatic with a day and date indication. It is a titanium case. One of the things I like about this particular specimen is it looks to be a full-length bracelet that will probably fit up to an 8-inch wrist. If I had to say the case size without the measuring device, I would say this is about a 39 millimeter case, maybe 40 millimeter case, and is in really good shape. This is typically a bead blasted finish. This has the newer strap changing, or I should say bracelet sizing system. So you basically size the bracelet by pressing down on these dots, which are spring loaded, and that's how you remove or add extra links. And here we have an extra link as well included. So there you have it. This is another great watch and another great unveiling. This has been another episode of Watch in the Box. Thank you so very much for your time today, as always. And wear your watches in the best of health. This is OJ Whatley signing off. Have a great day.